Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups, relationship issues, and a lot of other stuff too. Been busy this year and haven't really done a lot of live streams, but I'm excited to get back on. It's Christmas, so first and foremost, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all you out there. If you're going through a bad breakup right now, it's tough. It's tougher during the holidays, right? Different. So we'll talk about that some. We'll also talk about why breakups during the holidays hurt so much. And some people might think that's obvious, but it's not always obvious. There's different reasons for different people. And then what's the greatest moments you've actually had during the holidays with a partner? What's the worst? Because we all assume like, oh yeah, it's so much better when you have a partner, when you have a girlfriend. But there are some times when you're with someone you don't want to be with, or you're on the verge of breaking up, and the holidays suck. So it can go both ways, right? So if anyone wants to jump on, also I have a link with StreamYard. So if someone wants to jump on audio only or with video and talk about their situation, that's open. It's always good with StreamYard. So let's get into it. So number one, if you are thinking of contacting your ex to wish them a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, Happy Birthday, because some people's birthdays are in December, and actually doing this for so many years, I think one of the most common questions is, should I send them a happy birthday? And I would give the same list of questions I'm going to give right here. And really, these questions will give you clarity and hopefully help you answer that question. So if you're thinking about Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, or Happy Birthday, number one, what happened? Okay, so your breakup isn't cut and dry. There's a story. If you've been to my channel before or listened to my rhetoric on YouTube, you'll know that I'm a strong proponent that what happened, the story, the narrative, your end of it really counts, and it's different for different people. And so there's a lot of wreckage on the road. If someone cheated, if someone stole money, if there's things that you just can't come back from and you think a Merry Christmas is going to fix that, I hope the individual is naive or gullible in that case. And also, I didn't put this on there as one of the questions, but it certainly should be added. Know what you're dealing with. This is your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife. This is your partner. You've known them for a long time. You should know, all right, if I send them a Merry Christmas, are they going to be suspicious? Are they going to be receiving it well? Are they someone that's rosy and happy during Christmas? Are they down and out? So consider that. But what happened is really big. So if your breakup, it's fresh, it was dirty, it was ugly, people are really upset with each other, or one of the biggest things that gets overlooked, and of course people are biased and they don't want to admit this, but at the end of the breakup, someone just lost full attraction. So what's up, Rob IS? Happy holidays, my friend. Guardian at the gate. If it's at a point where attraction's been lost, it's been bad for a really long time, and you think Merry Christmas is going to help that out, probably not. Probably not. What's up, CFN? Well, I mean, that's a question some people ask, right? It depends on what your relationship's like and who you are, right? So, and like I said before, this applies to Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, Happy New Year. They're all occasions. And I would even add a dog's funeral. I've been asked that many times. Because there's so many times when people break up and they go, oh, I was really close to the dog and the dog just passed away, right? What happened in your breakup in your relationship? Are you reaching here so you think you can somehow get in their good parts by saying Merry Christmas? Number two, are they seeing someone else? So to me, if you're reaching and you're like, oh, they're seeing someone else, but I'm going to throw a Merry Christmas, have some self-respect, right? Like, what are you trying to achieve here? Now, if you're a Christmas type person, they're a Christmas person, you're really close to their family, and that's it. Fine. What's your intentions? This is probably the number one question. And a lot of people that are impulsive don't ask the question. But your intentions are important. And a lot of times to double check that before you do some stuff like this. And be honest with yourself. Because sometimes you're like, oh, my intention is if she's happy to hear from me, then maybe we can get some hot cocoa or some eggnog, and then maybe she'll invite me over and this, that, and the other. And that bleeds into what's your expectations. So those two questions, whenever you're going to send a happy birthday, Merry Christmas, those are really important questions. Okay. And the reason why is so you know what you're looking for. And is it realistic? And so that goes with what happened in the breakup. You know if they hate you right now. You know if they're a stubborn type and they don't want to talk to you. You know if they've been in no contact with you. And one of the ones I've heard from people before, and this isn't just for a Merry Christmas, they'll be like, oh, I'm just going to do a Hail Mary. If anyone doesn't know what that is from American football, I have an international group here. It's basically going for something that's probably not going to work. Okay. But the problem is when you do things where you're like, oh, she hates me. I cheated on her 5 times. I wrecked her car, and you think a Merry Christmas is going to work. So you just got to keep that in mind. And then what's the worst case scenario? So what are you facing here? They don't reply, and that really hurts you. And this is where deal with this a lot. There's a lot of sensitivity out there for texting. There's a lot of sensitivity for being left on red. They left me on red. And unfortunately, we're in the 21st century, 2024. People are going to be left on red when they're at a red light. People are going to be left on red when they're going to the bathroom and they get your text. People are going to be left on red all the time. And somehow a lot of people take it personal. They get their feelings hurt. So if that's one of the worst case things, and by the way, when I say you're going to wish someone a Merry Christmas, probably over half the people are thinking text, right? What's the worst case scenario? Being left on red? Ask yourself that going into it. Can you deal with being left on red? Can you deal with, and I've seen this once before, where they got left on red. So what happens is, okay, I did something nice. I wish this person a happy new year. I wish them a happy birthday. I wish them a Merry Christmas. And they didn't respond. They left me on red. What's this all about? So what happens next is you start to dig. You start to go into their social media. You start to check their WhatsApp photo. You start to just, I need to do a little bit of recon here. I need to get some more information about this. And then it happens. And I've seen this before. Oh my God, I found a photo and she's with a new guy. Now you just went from wishing someone a Merry Christmas innocently, maybe it'll work, to ground zero all the fuck over again. You're at ground zero. It's like, oh my God, I didn't know she was with someone. Now it's Christmas, she's with someone else, and I sent a happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, and she's with someone else. So that's just knowing the worst case scenario. Because a lot of times the other person can be with someone else. It's possible, depending on how long you've been apart. Can you deal with that? Has their social media triggered you lately? So this is a great question to ask before you go out and send this Merry Christmas. Recently, have you been checking their social media and you're triggered? Damn, they seem like they're having so much fun. Damn, I can't believe they're living their best life now. That's the big, they're living their best life right now. Oh, wow, they just went on another trip in the Bahamas. They're taking all these photos and they look so happy. Newsflash, people, social media is competitive happiness, okay? It takes about 2 seconds to go. I live in the tropics. I live in Phuket. It's a beautiful place. It's a gorgeous place to go on vacation. I would say 50 to 60% of people are taking pictures on the beach for an hour. And then you see them yelling at their kid, or you see them yelling at their girlfriend or boyfriend. So anytime you think like, oh, everyone on social media, they look so happy, they're doing so well, half of it's staged and fake. I'd say over half of it's staged. So if you're already triggered by what's going on with them in their personal life post-breakup, and whatever you've come across on the Snapchats or the IG or whatnot, then don't send them a Merry Christmas, because you're walking into a minefield, right? Why breakups during the holidays hurt so much? So I'm going to get to the comments in a moment. And CFN, if you have any questions, or the 7 people that are on deck, if you have any specific questions, or like I mentioned earlier, I do have a StreamYard invite here. So if anyone wanted to come on and unpack your breakup or your situation and talk a little bit about it, it's an open line. Consider it a radio show. So just to wrap that up, Merry Christmas is fine. Just don't have high expectations. Okay. For example, if If a friend's sending me a Merry Christmas, I'm not going to be attached to the outcome. They might go, wow, that was weird. Mac didn't respond right away. Or wow, it won't bother them all day. Okay, if you're looking for some grand turnaround here and this is going to really turn the tides, then don't do it. If you still have a lot of feelings for them and you know deep down that their feelings are a lot less than you have for them, don't do it. If they're seeing someone else or they're with someone else, probably don't do it. Okay? Save it for the next year when you're a little bit more healed, you're a little bit more secure, and then make that decision a year later. But if you're like, oh, maybe this will work. If you have to question sending a Merry Christmas, then you have to ask yourself, am I too insecure to start? Right? It's not going to work well. Reaching out and using holidays as an excuse will be seen as bribing women. Look right through that. I think it's best to let them reach out. There are your ex for a reason. Great. The illusion of action. I like that, CFN. I often say to people, sometimes you think, and this is especially true for clients that are high achievers, hard workers, and they get what they want through hard work. They really have trouble with no contact or letting go of the situation without, quote unquote, trying, without, let me do this, let me fix that. And the reality is when you take a step back, and a lot of times when we do a live coaching session, that's what we're digging for. Let's get some clarity here. Was this even a good relationship? Was it bad? Was it exhausting? Were you trying to make it work? You have to get to the bottom of it, because at the end, sometimes your feelings are hurt. You're in love. You're lacking intimacy for 3 weeks, so you're a little bit clouded by that. But then when you get down to it, you're like, wait a minute. It wasn't good for a while. I'm going to have to let go of this. I'm going to have to go into no contact. I'm going to have to heal from this. I'm going to have to take some time. Maybe you have to cry. Maybe you have to talk to someone. But you don't want to go back. Right? Well, thanks, CFN. Where's NOK? You don't want to go back. So you just got to realize that. And the interesting thing about the illusion of action is that not contacting someone doesn't feel like an action, but it is the hardest thing to do. The obstacle is the way, right? It's a big one. All right. So thank you for that, CFN. What does CFN stand for, out of curiosity? Why breakups during the holiday hurt so much? And by the way, CFN, if you have a specific question, feel free to throw it in there. So this might seem obvious, right? Someone would say, well, of course it's going to hurt everyone the same. It's not going to hurt for the same reason. So for example, someone during the holidays lost one of their parents during that time of year. So it's always a tough time. Sometimes people live in an area. I've dealt with this because I've lived a lot of different areas, lived in different countries, different states, and you're away from your family. So it's not as tender for you. You know, the whole Christmas with your family isn't there. So you're already a little bit more sensitive if you don't have your partner, right? So those are other reasons why it's a little bit more. A lot of times what it is, though, is the fact that there's a lot of Christmas parties, there's to-dos, there's family Christmas parties, there's work Christmas parties, and people see all these people with their husbands and wives, girlfriends and boyfriends, and they think, oh, I'm the only single person here. And the reality is half those people are unhappy and wish they were single and are actually jealous of you that you're on your own, that you got out of the cage. That's the interesting thing. You're like, oh, everyone's got someone here with them. And the reality is that there's a lot of couples that are at those Christmas parties that are unhappy. So it's just, you got to look at it this way. If you're going through that, and a lot of young people do in their 20s and whatnot, oh, I'm only one. Oh, I got this Christmas party to go to and no one will go with me. So what? Maybe someone else is single there. Have fun. Go home early if it's a drag. Improvise while you're there. Allow yourself to be surprised. All right? You know, the best thing you can do is stay busy when you're broken up. And then if, you go out and do something and it's not fun, get an Uber home, abort the mission, and get back. But sitting in your room or sitting in your apartment or sitting at your house, sitting on the couch is the worst thing to do. Watching YouTube for 60 hours, getting 20 different opinions, even though I'm on YouTube right now, probably one of the worst things you can do. So you want to get back out there. Cold Force Norse. I'm in the Arctic Army in Norway. It was TikTok meme account in my troop before TikTok became illegal for us. Wow. Norway, huh? I got some friends from Norway that actually live here in Phuket where I live. Nice people. Very nice people. So, this is a really good question. I'd like to put it to the chat right now. What's the greatest moments you've actually had during the holidays with a partner, with a girlfriend? What's some of the greatest moments? Because if you think about this, I'm originally from California, San Mateo, California, about 20 minutes from San Francisco. That's where I grew up. Now, what's some greatest moments? We got to think about this for a minute. Because you think to yourself when you're single again, oh man. But were there some moments? For me, it would probably be shopping for family and friends for Christmas gifts when you're with a girlfriend, and I'm thinking of a couple of different girlfriends because I've had a few, and it's new. What do I mean by like it's like the first 6 months, it's the honeymoon phase. Everything's good. It's a lot of fun. It's cold outside. You're helping each other out. It's a long night. You go out to dinner. You have some drinks. It's not the Christmas parties. It's the Christmas shopping. It's being out together. And it's being part of a new relationship during Christmas rather than one that's been 7 years and a bit stale. And then to piggyback that, so anyone in the comments, like I said, anyone have their best moments during Christmas? I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. Living abroad for so long, Christmas isn't as popular here in Phuket. For me, it's baking gingerbread at our house. Okay, that's cool. LOL. Right? So, to flip that, has there been some worse moments? I don't think there's ever been something where Christmas made a relationship worse. I would say there's probably times when a girlfriend got too drunk, and that's always been something I don't like. I'm sure a lot of guys don't like that. When your girlfriend's the drunk girl at the party. I had one girlfriend like that we were together for 4.5 years. In the last 6 months, last 6 months, maybe 8 months, she became a full-blown alcoholic, and she wasn't one before. Like, drank every night, and if there was a party or get-together, she'd get wrecked. And she thought she was being fun and loud and spirited and charismatic, and it was like, it's not fun when it's your girlfriend, right? When your girlfriend's the one that's all, and because any guys at the party are like wounded. Hey, you want another drink? People are offering you another. Oh, did you want another drink? Oh, we got more wine. Sure, no problem. Yeah, sure. And you're like, oh, fuck, it's my girl. Someone else is out there like, what? Why are you trying to control? I'm not trying to control. It's just there's a certain point when it's your partner, your girlfriend, and it's not funny to you, and you're like, let's just go home. No, I don't want to go home. It's like, okay. And then they start saying something off the wall or obnoxious or dirty. And it's like, everyone else there is like, oh, cool, nice show. Because the women are like, ooh, she's drunk. Like, ha, ha, ha. Like, yeah, egg her on. And then there's, some other guys like, poor Mac, like in the back there. And then there's some other guys like, opportunity. Come over here. Can I get your number? Bad one, right? I've had that happen at one work Christmas party for a girlfriend, and it was uncomfortable. She didn't do anything bad, Actually, when I think about it, there's 2 different work parties. But she was just drunk and unaware. And you're sitting there watching like you're watching a kid to be careful you don't knock over a glass, and then just obnoxious comments are just out of pocket. And of course, during the holidays, there's a lot of bottles to be had, right? And to be, I've had times where I've had a few drinks, whatnot, but that's why I would always say it's a superpower. If you find a girlfriend out there, if you find a partner that doesn't drink or do those kinds of things, because those are public situations, it's uncomfortable. All right, so anyone else have to add? Greatest moments during the holidays with a partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife? Worst moments? Got to think for a minute. Her birthday at my place, her friends came and guy friends. It was fun, but she got so drunk and started dancing on the table and seemed like she wanted to get the other guy's attention. Exactly. And then the next day it's like, no, we're just friends. But that's why you don't get drunk like that. And the guy was like, I think she might like me. Right? It's never good. I was just telling someone this recently. When it's your girl, if your girlfriend has a drinking habit and hangs out with a mixed crowd of men and women when they go drinking, or bars or clubs, let's just say bars or clubs in a major city. If that's a regular thing, it's not good, because it puts them in a situation of temptation, and single people go there to hook up, right? And drinking drops everyone's guard. I don't know anyone out there that's like, oh yeah, like I'm more stubborn about hooking up with a random when I'm drinking. Not really. All right, so also today I'm going to get into maybe some Reddit stories, see if we can review some of those. I haven't done that in a little while. But we got 9 on deck. Anyone that has a question, or if you want to jump on, like I said, I can do audio only if you don't want to show your face. But I'd be happy to unpack if you have a breakup situation or some quick questions, or you've just been a fan of the channel. She had a short skirt on and started leaning on them. I left for a couple of minutes and with my friend, boyfriend of her friend. And when I came back inside, she was just mad at me. Yeah, as if you did something wrong for judging. Like I said, that's why you date now and she goes, oh, I just don't drink. You're like, green light. That's great, because that's a real thing. That's a real thing. That is not fun. When it's not your girlfriend, it's fine. It doesn't bother you so much. And everyone's like, what's wrong? Oh, what are you getting upset about? It's like, that's one of those situations where it's like, if I had a video camera, and the interesting thing about that is everyone's got one in their hand or pocket now, literally. And I could show you how you were acting. And when I'm thinking about that, I've been drunk a few times. But the flirtatiousness, how the woman would explain that. And then the woman would look at it probably in the sense of, well, I didn't do anything. Nothing happened. We were just joking. But for a man, it's like self-respect. Rick! How you doing, bud? San Diego's finest. Congratulations on the baby daughter. I see you, bud. I'm happy for you, man. Really happy for you, Rick. Hope you're doing well, man. Man, life changes quick, huh? I mean, I don't know, years back when we talked, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Shit, 4 or 5 years ago. I heard San Diego's crowded now. Just met a guy that in Phuket that's moved here. Actually, has a big time job, and he grew up in San Diego, and he's just like, it's so much traffic, it's so expensive. Still a beautiful place, but it changed. I still like it. All right, let me see if I can get into... Let's see if we get a good story here. And like I said, anyone got any questions, any kind of comments about your current situation you want to ask about, go ahead and shoot them in the comments. If you want to jump on the channel, I do have a link to that. Oh, here's one. So here's the topic of this. This will be interesting. Tell the story of your hardest breakup and how you moved on that you feel good again. All good, coach. Life is great, man. I have no complaints. My little girl is months. Happy for you, dude. Couldn't be happier for a better person, man. Remember I had you on the live stream years back. That was fun. I'm glad you're doing well, dude. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm not surprised. You're a good human. And a better dad, I suppose. Life happened fast for sure. San Diego's crowded and super expensive, right? I was back in Northern California for last year, most of the year. It's crazy, man. It's changed a lot. But San Diego is always going to be special. Always, always, always. And you got the Padres still, right? Even though the Dodgers just scoop up every great player, it's just like an open check. Yankees, or would you guys want to go to the Yankees or the Dodgers? I remember you're a big baseball fan. Life happens. You know what that is too, Rick? Looking back, because I mean, we've all had our ups and downs. I know you've had yours. No one wins that battle. Everyone has their own stuff, but like, you just got to keep going, right? Keep showing up. It's because that's the only thing to do. Allow yourself to be surprised. Sometimes I like to say that. Allow yourself to be surprised by that next day. And then improvise on the bad shit. I want to go there once. Do a road trip. Cali, San Francisco, Nevada, Texas is a dream for me. I've never been to Texas, but yeah, a lot of people do that trip. You'll probably be surprised by how barren California can be outside of the major cities. Like if you drive from San Francisco to LA, it's just like desert. There's nothing there. There's no trees. It's just flat land. There's a lot of open land in California. You think like, oh, it's just beaches and this and that. Nevada's a lot of desert outside of Vegas or Reno. Just desert, if you like desert. I'm not a big desert person. I don't know Texas well. Go for it. Dreams come true. That's one that you can make happen. If I was going to tell you cities that maybe I would consider outside of, because those are states, so I don't know exactly where you want to go. San Diego I'd want to go to, because the cool thing about San Diego is you can go down to Tijuana. That's a life experience, and it's really close by. I would say Santa Barbara's beautiful. Yeah, everyone from California is moving to Texas, dude, for the taxes. I've got a bunch of friends that were from San Diego that moved to Texas, and they're like, they love it. They just said the weather's a little bit harsher. It's a little bit more extreme, right? But the taxes, right off the bat, one of my friends who's pretty well off, saved 21.2% tax every year off his $300,000 he makes, So Austin's supposed to be really cool. Yeah, I've had clients that lived out there. But yeah, my aunt, my cousin moved out to Houston. They like it. The weather's rough, right? In San Diego, the weather is like, it's weather counts, man. It does count. Like having good weather and living by the beach. Sorry. I'm one of those people, I just always believe in live. I always want to live where people go on vacation. Call me biased. We moved from San Diego to near Portland in the suburb. How do you like it, vegan goddess? I've been to Portland a couple times. I don't know it well enough to judge it, really, to be honest. I mean, I was younger when I went through there. Home of the great Trailblazers. Love it. Okay. Compared to San Diego, because San Diego was just crowded and more expensive. Is that what it was? Or I'm spoiled living in San Diego, born and raised. Hard for me to. Don't leave, man. You got a good job. You make it well. Then don't leave, man. Shit. I loved San Diego when I was there. I love the beach. I love the weather. Old Town for some good Mexican food. Mission Beach, PB. La Jolla, shit, real nice. I remember living in PB in Mission Beach in my 20s. I just wouldn't leave. Had the beach cruiser. I think I put 10,000 miles on my car in 2 years. I'm sure it's ultra expensive now. That used to just be Mission Beach was actually cheap when I lived there. Vegan Goddess. I feel like I've heard that name before. Portland has a lot of vegans, right? I'm from Bergen, most rainy city in Europe. Rains for weeks. Wow. Move. Water's important these days, so that's one of the positives. Yeah, my bros keep asking me to leave, but I just can't bring myself to do it. Yeah, that's tough, man. If you like it and you love it and you got a good job, then don't leave, dude. You can go visit them all the time. I mean, that's the key. Because the thing is, one thing about Cali, Rick, you can move out, but it's going to be really hard to move back in. You can move to cheaper. It's hard to move back to more expensive. Once you're out, like once our family moved from the Bay Area, a lot of our extended family, like the entry level in the Bay Area, you're never getting back in. Saying that, I don't really miss it because it's crowded, it's expensive. I live in paradise, so I'm shipwrecked. Portland is okay. Oregon is beautiful. We didn't like the people's mentality when it comes to money. What's that mean? Oregon is beautiful, huh? Just beautiful country. And they got beaches and stuff like that, even though they're cold. All right, let me see here. We got 11 on deck. If you have any questions about your relationship issues, or if you just want to drop a comment, put it in, I'll respond. Like I said before, happy to bring you on if you want to unpack some stuff about your relationship and you want audio only so you don't have to show your face. So I've been doing these live streams for years. I've actually done like 1,000 live streams. I only did maybe 40 or 50 this year. And now that I have this StreamYard, it's so easy if someone wants to hop on. But the funny thing is, I've had over the years, not often, but like the next day, they're just blowing up my email. Please take it down. Please take it down. I'm like, your face isn't even on there. I mean, it's like you knew before you went on, but I always take it down. How many people judge what you drive, what you wear. It's all about, oh, for sure. Well, I mean, all right, Vegan Goddess, I don't know if you're from San Diego originally. Wherever you live, I lived in San Diego. I lived in the Bay Area. I lived in Chico, California for a little bit. My parents live up there now. College town, totally different. Lived in Phuket, lived in Chiang Mai. Trying to think, there's one other place. Every place is different. There's subcultures within these groups. I just remember living in San Diego and being like, damn, there's a real surf culture that says tubular, it says like gnarly. Dude, let's charge it. I was like, these guys talk like the Ninja Turtles. Going to the U.S. for the first time in summer and fall, Fort Lauderdale, visiting my best friend's cousin. I'm pretty excited, dude. That sounds cool. I've never been to Fort Lauderdale. That would be a high on the list. Good for you, man. Just wanted to stop and say hi, Coach. Wish you a Merry Christmas to you and your viewers. Keep doing great work. Much respect to you. You too, Rick. Merry Christmas to you and your family, bro. All right. So let's just see what we come up with here on this random. Tell me your story, hardest breakup, and how you moved on that you feel good again. Anyone want to throw in their hardest breakup story and how they moved on? You feeling vulnerable? No one wants to tell that story. So here's one. I met her at a uni and she was so pretty I thought she'd never say hi, but she did. We hit it off and started dating. She was very sweet and kind at first, and for a long time I couldn't believe she was with me. She was way more than I deserved, and I had to do everything I could to keep her happy and by my side. So that's number one. That's a red flag, right? So the way you start a relationship is how it's gonna transpire. So if it starts out where you're like, oh, I have to do all this extra stuff, it's going to get worse and worse. Not in Oregon. Here, people are way more down to earth. It's a dog state too. That's excellent. I would say Northern California is a little bit more like that. Going back to this, eventually I realized that it was not okay to feel that way about a relationship, and that she was actually getting it ingrained in my head. She started getting mad when I didn't do things exactly like she wanted, and made sure to remind me how unlikely it was that I would ever be loved by someone as good as her. Wow. So this is manipulation 101. Some people might say this is toxic. Some people might say this is narcissism. Bottom line, it's just not good. Sometimes, doing this for a while, people get caught in this thing of like the label part. Oh, they're a bipolar disorder. They have this, they have narcissism. And it can't be true. Right? I'm not discounting that, but they get so wrapped up in that. And I've had clients, they do all this research. Just get the fuck out of the relationship. And I've had one where it was like that. And when you get out, you feel like you just got air, like you were getting drowned, because the manipulation in the words, when someone starts saying things that don't vibe with you or saying bad things to you that you just find completely untrue, get the hell out. Beach art detailing. How you doing? BAD. I think that's a good one. Are you a male or female? I've learned to date for 6 months before committing. I think that's a good one. That's a way to vet. Obviously, there's some cases where you're going to fall or it's going to go really good, but I will say this. I often tell people this. People surprise you. And when you first meet them, the first 2, 3, 4 months, oh, what's up, Ryan? Is that if you don't vet them, if you don't go out with them for a while, you're really discounting the fact that you think you just know them. Because the dating in the beginning, especially like the first 2 or 3 months, maybe you're meeting once, twice a week, and you're only seeing the best part, right? Oh, like Friday night, you're getting all dolled up, you're gonna be on your best, you're gonna get a nap before you go out. It's like you want to see that part of that person when they got a hangover, when they're sick, when things aren't going right, and then you'll see the real person because the guard comes down, the fangs come out. How you doing, Ryan? Eventually, I started standing up for myself, and we broke up. She didn't want it to, but I knew if things kept the way they were going, it was going to get worse. We both needed to work on ourselves and grow. I still loved her and wanted to be better for her, but she did the opposite. While I was going to therapy and meeting people, she manipulated me through texts and unclear intentions and started dating a couple of acquaintances. Not friends, acquaintances, huh? People she knew would hurt me, and it did. It actually worked. My self-esteem was at its lowest point, and it made me run back to her so she would love me instead of anyone else. I soon realized the bad things were not going to change, and the good ones had gone forever. We weren't happy. We didn't talk, go out, or enjoy each other like we did before everything broke. So we split. I cried. I didn't eat, started smoking, which I carry with me to this day, and fell to a very low point in my life. But time passed. I started looking at her socials less and less, started ignoring the texts she would send when she was feeling lonely and wanted attention. I started exercising, seeing my friends and family more often, and focused on growth in my career plus therapy. It wasn't easy. It wasn't quick. It certainly felt like it didn't last forever, but it didn't. I started feeling less and less when I thought of her. You know what's crazy is when you hear a story like this, it's like, yeah, when you get out of a relationship like that and you move on, it seems very obvious. I think the hardest relationships to break up with is when you're like, she was a prize. She was a good one. She was the best at XYZ. Rather than she was a train wreck. She hurt me. She was manipulative. She was toxic. Those for some reason are the worst in a lot of people's books because they're like, I was treated bad. But what about the ones later on where you're like, that could have been one I stayed with longer if the timing and circumstances were different. We could have worked through that. That's what's interesting about that, because this is one of those cases where it's like, oh, it's obvious. Eventually, I started hanging out with an old friend I hadn't seen in a long time. I always thought she was smart and funny, and I had so much fun. We met for a cup of coffee. I asked her out, and she said yes. She is loving, caring, and overall makes me feel respected. and wanted for who I am. She is also the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Sounds biased. We just had our 7-month anniversary. The fact that you're keeping track of each month anniversary says a lot. We went on a trip together to see our favorite band, and I was given flowers for the first time in my life. It does get better. Good for you. Good for you. Listen to how this one starts. Pioneer Caddy, how you living? Large and in charge. It's been a while. She can't be saved. So this story from Reddit. I met him at a rave and instantly knew he would be the man I would marry. So, I mean, think about that sentence. You meet the person you're going to marry at a rave. I chased him, fought for him constantly over 12 years. Chased and fought for 12 years. Sounds like a winner. He is younger than me, but my heart was stubborn and never wanted to let go of him. He tried to leave me many times. It sounds like she's the toxic one. Each time a blind side to me happened and I bent over backwards to prove to him I could be the one who stands at his side. He was my world, but I always think it's suspect when people use dramatic, he was my world. I never met anyone like this. These are just dramatic words, right? It doesn't need to be said like this. It's like, this person's nice, this person's special, this person's beautiful, this one's super beautiful. It's like they have to put an extra sauce on everything. He was my world, but I was never his. And after his final time of a blind side and him pretending to love me, would love to hear his side of the story, right? When he didn't, was enough for my heart to finally let go, as he told me he doesn't love me anymore and became someone at the end who was capable of kicking me out of my home and my daughter and dog. So the crazy thing is, how would he be able to kick you out of your home? Him ghosting and vanishing with the wind, only pop back up on his terms to say hello and goodbye. You never recover from pain. Actually, you do. You do recover from pain. It takes time. It takes work. It might take therapy. It might take coaching. But you do recover from pain. But it gets easier the more time goes by. I was a wreck when he dumped me. I couldn't eat. I lost so much weight. I couldn't sleep. Those are natural things in any breakup. I didn't want to beg and chase him again, so it's been a withdrawal from the addiction, which was him. The idea that you think of your ex-boyfriend as an addiction isn't just a problem for him, it's a problem for you. You shouldn't be addicted to who you're with. It's been about 4 months now. I'm not healed. I love him so much, but my heart is healing. I can sleep. I got on antidepressant medicine, and my appetite is back. Well, congratulations on that. You really just have to let yourself feel, let yourself break before you can put yourself back together slowly. And you start to realize you deserve better, and even get to a place you can forgive and wish them the best because they don't deserve you. I will never love again. See, these are the kind of statements, I will never love again. It's like, come on. It's just highly dramatic. You're just making things worse with your rhetoric. Co-parenting or solo parenting, your take? Can you elaborate a little bit, Pioneer Caddy? Is this for you? You mean as if there's a choice? Or, well, I mean, to me, co-parenting would be more ideal, right? By co-parenting, just so I get this correct, you mean your ex and you splitting the responsibility? I think the dramatic names is a sign that you feel unequal. That's exactly the problem. Well, it's also just dramified, right? It's like if someone's just telling you, I'll never find love again. Absolutely you won't, because you're the captain of your own ship, hon. So you don't have to be positive, but you don't have to be extra drama. You can, and here's the thing, you're making the topic this broad thing. I'll never find love again. What a big topic. What a big subject. Instead of being like, wow, this one really got me. This one broke me. This one's going to be hard to come back from. Right? I'll never find love again. It's highly dramatic. It's also like you're just dead ending something that's possible in a year or 2 years. But that's okay. She writes, I'll never love again, but that's okay because I have the love of my family, my daughter, and the dog. He also abandoned just to be single and fuck around. So the idea that he he would obviously have a different side of this story, right? Jesus, Pioneer Caddy. I just got chills down my back reading that. I got beaten with a bat, nearly lost my life. She's now sorry and just wants me back. No accountability. Woo! Is that the mother of your kids? Is that why you're asking? First of all, after doing this a while, if you have kids involved, I think that's a special situation where there might be more forgiveness. There might be more of an effort where there doesn't need to be an effort as much. Okay, so you have 2 kids together. All right. So you want to be the solo parent or you want to co-parent? If someone's beat you with a bat, do you think she's dangerous to the kids would be question number 1. And if I may ask, what ignited her to beat you with the bat? Full disclosure. But that's okay because I have love for my family, my daughter, and the dog who just abandoned me. You know, you met him at a rave and you're expecting him to be some kind of loyal, all-in guy. You chased him. But I'm at a place now where I can smile again, work, and be happy around my child, and it's great. Feeling healed, get over that addiction. The idea that you've addressed your ex as an addiction is a red flag on you. Yeah, Pioneer, like that's, and you know what's interesting about that? People don't realize, you know, doing this work for a while, that like women can abuse men too. I mean, some people laugh at that, or they can threaten. They can do some things to bully or scare a guy. And, you know, it's just, in most societies, it's not looked at as in the same way, but it's PTSD for the guy. I mean, Pioneer Cat, what do you want? Do you want to get custody of the kids? Like, it sounds like, and this is where I would need to know your whole story. What do you want? Do you want to, you know, is this person dangerous? Are they mentally ill? Or is this something where you did something that you feel like, oh, she flew off the handle because I did X, Y, Z? Not to say that getting beat with a bat's okay, but I mean, beyond getting beat with a bat, here's the thing: if you take someone back for doing something that foul, that bad, right? If you take someone back for that bad, then you're just saying it's okay if you want to do it again. There's got to be a line, dude. Like, you can't, even if she's like, I'm sorry, that would be a red flag. If she thinks that that's okay, or that she doesn't need to be accountable, even if she says sorry 10,000 times, if you let that in, she knows, like, next time I want a baseball bat you, I can. That's why I date 6 months before committing. The first sign of disrespect, I move on to the next one. I recently discovered how to have plenty of options. How old are your kids, Pioneer Caddy? And who do they live with? That's why I date 6 months before. That's good, Brian. I agree with you. I don't think you need to set it to 6 months, but if you're a person that likes finish lines, that's fine. Why did she get you with the bat, though? She caught you cheating, or did you do something? I'm not saying that it's okay to get hit with the bat. I just want to know, like, what were the reasons? Was it false accusations? Because that would be the worst thing. Wanting her to feel the pain she's going through. Honestly, when you have something that bad, you gotta go talk to someone. And I've worked through stuff like this with people. That's trauma, man. If you just bury that, like, if you really did get, and I'm not saying you're lying, I'm just saying, like, if you legitimately got beat with a baseball bat from the mother of your children, and you're not exaggerating it, you need to talk to someone. Because you're gonna store that inside, dude, and you're gonna start drinking more or smoking more or whatever. And it's always gonna affect you. And the reality is you can't accept it. You could be cordial for your kids. You could be cordial for your kids, but you can't get back with her. And sometimes things like that, it's a huge wake-up call. Like, who am I? Like, how can I be a better human? I'm dealing with this human that's obviously mentally ill to impulsively crazy. Okay? And what's really interesting, you know, it's a what do you mean? And she think I only have 2 by her. Oh, you have 1 girl, 2 boys with her. You got to step up, dude. You got to do. Here's the thing, man. Like, whatever you do moving forward, what's the best thing for my kids? If those are your kids and you're the adult in the room and you want, I don't know how old you are, but like, there's going to be a day when you're on your deathbed, right? Right? Hopefully you're 90 or 100 years old, okay? And you're going to be looking back. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? And right now, anything that isn't in the best interest of those kids within your power is going to be the wrong move. So if you want a short answer to this, you're 36. So you're just coming into, you know, when you're 36, now you're just starting to gain a lot of wisdom in life, right? Like 18 is not a real adult for most people, right? You grow up, like people grow up like 25, 26. You're 36. You've been through some shit. All right. It's time to like, all right, you've got to play around. You've probably, you know, what's the best thing for these kids? What's the best thing? Journal it out. Like, what's the best thing I can do? Get full custody? What's the best thing I can do? I don't know. Within your power. Right? Because what happens is in situations like this, you got to ask yourself, what's in my power? What is something that I can do? What's legitimate? What's a move I can make on this? Having conversations with someone that's emotionally unstable, right? That's literally, so for example, let's just say like, and I'm not saying this, I'm just saying for example, and if you want to come on the call and no video, I can give you a link and we can talk about it a little bit. Whatever's like disempowers you in this situation. For example, let's just say that you're like, all right, man, my finances aren't right, so I can't get a lawyer to get custody of the kids. So that's number one then. All right, so like, let me see how I can get a better job, right? What you want to do though is like, what's in the best interest for them to be with you? Because if she's emotionally unstable, that's a way to put it. Because like everyone goes, oh, narcissist, oh, bipolar, all these things, just emotionally unstable. Emotionally unstable as an adult are dangerous people. The reason why is they go 0 to 100. They get angry, they get upset, they don't get their way, they bring another character on stage. You go, who the fuck is this? And you're like, you're dealing with a child. See, everyone doesn't realize that, you know, you say, oh, you have your issues from childhood. You have a kid inside you. You have a teenager inside you. Oh, this is what Mac did when he was 18. Oh, this is what Mac did when he was like 25. You can revert back to that. If you're growing in the right direction, you're 36 years old, you got to a point where you're 36. You can kind of like go back and hang out with some friends from high school and kind of like play some video games or whatever and be there for a day or two. But you're in adulthood now. What does adulthood mean? It means fucking integrity. It means I know right from wrong from having wrong happen enough times. Right? So that's what you got to do. And you got to put that first. If you get caught up on who's wrong, who's right, oh, she beat me with a bat, all that shit's bad, but like, what's your next move? What's the adult do? What's the person do that has control of their mind, knowing what's done with integrity? Because right now, you're just going to get snagged down in that snake pit. And that's what people do when they're emotionally unstable. A lot of times, and I'm not going to say always, right, is that an emotionally unstable person, they don't even know it. They don't even know it. They don't know it, okay? They don't know that they go 0 to 100. They don't have a video camera, and they're always self-righteous in that way. Like, it's like, oh, But the reality is, a lot of times it's equated to, in my book, it's like a little kid or a teenager that doesn't get their way. What does a kid do when they don't get their way? Unless they have a very disciplined parent. They usually cry to get their ice cream. And then when they cry, they get their ice cream. Now, if that same kid that usually cries to get their ice cream always gets their ice cream, they might be around another parent and that doesn't work. So they might do something like hit another kid because they're just used to always getting what they want. Okay? They're used to, as a kid, emotionally outbursts work. They get their way. They're rewarded. The other extreme to that is if a kid grows up with like a military parent, like myself, right? Dad was a Marine. He was in Vietnam. I'm not crying for ice cream. I'm not getting it. I'm not going to... Is that the best way to go? No, you want a medium in between, right? But a kid on the other end with the discipline things, they're not as emotionally unstable because they know, hey, I'm not going to get my way by emotionally wiling out. I'm not going to get my way by screaming, kicking, threatening. Because that person, all they're doing is like, I just want to get my way. And we as human beings can build a case for whatever the fuck we want, especially with the internet now. It's like, I'm sure if she beat you with that bat, she'd probably have 10 reasons why she did it. And she's, right. But it's, discover your core values and find someone who respects those values. Great point, B-Chart. It becomes narcissistic. Let's not be kids. And it really is, because look, there's moments where you want to be that kid, where you want to have fun, where you want to honor that part of you. But I'm trying to get out of the habit of saying narcissistic. I don't blame you. It's a blanket term that's out there that's why I said emotionally unstable. I agree with you. Narcissistic, it could be applied to this. It's just, you're right, bud. It's overused sometimes. Saying that, CFN, it could fit the thing. Bottom line, I get panic attacks and anxiety because she got the kids. Well, then book a session with myself. I can help you with that. You can get out in front of that. There's certain things we can do to help you with that, because what you need to do, and I'm being dead honest, if you're getting panic attacks and anxiety, you have post-traumatic stress, dude. You have, like, she hit you with a bat. Like, you can't just let that go. But you can get out in front of panic attacks and bad anxiety. I can help you with that. If you want to book a session, I'll give you your money back. Ryan's worked with me before. I promise, dude. That's something you can work on. If you want your woman to make you dinner, at least offer her a good massage. Okay. Well, there you go. That's what works for you, right? Vegan goddess. I don't get any money or affiliation from it, but Jordan Peterson, thanks, Rob IS. Good to see you still on. Jordan Peterson actually has, I've talked about this before, where it's a personality test, and it can tell you a lot. Actually, Ryan, you might like to check this out. I forgot what it's called, but you can just look up Jordan Peterson, like, personality test. But the nice thing is, if you're dating someone, Ryan, and it's been 6 months, and you're like, oh, let's check our personalities, the questions line up. So, like, when I did the personality test, I'm like, all right, whatever, like 20, 30 questions. It was pretty accurate. What's interesting is you could put who you're dating against that and see how you guys line up. And there is an area on there for emotional instability. And if that's one of the things that they're very low on, that's a big problem. That means listen, if you're an adult and you have no control over your emotions, it's one thing we cry, we get pissed off, we get angry, but there's a fucking limit. Right? That's why we don't have anarchy. So when someone gets to the point where they're righteous in believing that they can do certain things that are just totally out of hand, that just means there's still a kid in there, a teenager in there that doesn't give a shit, that just wants their way and just wants to win. They also probably have some issues. They got hurt when they were young. They had, wreckage on the road. And that's the thing about human beings. Human beings, I think at their core, are mostly good. It's just the life experiences from childhood, from teen years, all the way up into your 20s, your 30s. If they're really bad, that creates a bad person. Saying that, if you don't have those bad experiences, you're not going to untangle that fishing reel. And really, if you're around, you're just enabling them to act that way. And so when you're in one of those Pioneer Caddy and you got the kids involved, do what's best for the kids. Keep your contact with her at a minimum, because all she's going to do is try to get you in the snake pit. And it's like, I've always used this analogy. An old Van Damme movie, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Ryan will know Van Damme. This really ages me, right? I remember this scene from I don't know if it was Kickboxer or which one, and they're down in this basement, and Jean-Claude Van Damme is gonna fight, and he's all buffed out, right? And I forgot this other guy that he had this like ponytail and everything, and they dip the guy's hands in glass, broken glass, right? And he goes to fight Van Damme, who has no broken glass on his clubs. That's what you're doing when you're dealing with someone with emotional instability. And the thing is verbal jabs, it's abusive. If it's someone you care about and love and they say something threatening or extremely mean-spirited, and it's someone you love or care about, it definitely punctures you. I'm 20, seeing how the generation is going. I'm concerned because I want my kids to grow up in a safer household than I did. All right, fuck, you're 20, dude? All right, well. What do you mean safer than you did? There was abuse? I never used to tell people this. I knew you would know, Ryan. Tong Po, yeah, I knew you would know. I knew you'd know that right away. You know exactly what I'm talking about with the yeah. Van Damme movies are the best. VHS. I would say though, getting some kind of coaching or therapy from someone that you really vibe. Don't just get random therapy or random coaching. If you vibe with someone, if you like my approach, if you like someone else's approach, talk to them a little bit about things and unwind the things. Because I've been doing this for about 6 years. It really helps. I've worked with some people in their 20s. It really helps. Yeah, if you have unresolved trauma, work on it now. Don't wait till you're 25 and you become an alcoholic or you have a bad relationship for that shit to bubble up. What happens with unresolved trauma is sometimes it doesn't get touched, right? Like there's not anything in your life triggering that. Like you're occupied, things are going well. The minute someone touches that button of unresolved trauma, it's like getting electrocuted. You're like, oh shit. That shit wakes up and it changes you for a minute because you're like, oh shit, that brought me back to this. I've had it happen in my life where I was like, I thought I was done with that. So I'm saying if you're 20, you got the extra money, and be selective who you talk to. See, I've been pigeonholed for just helping people with breakups, but I do a lot of work with people after their breakups on different things, whether it's goals, whether it's old trauma. And you just, more than anything else, you need to know that the person cares. I think Ryan would agree with this. Ryan's done some work with me, but he's also worked with other therapists. You know when someone cares. I've worked with other therapists, and it's not that they don't care, they just aren't, they're following a textbook. You need to know that they care and you have a good rapport. You like each other. That sounds shallow, but it's not. It's not written. So those are the two things you want to look for. But if you have unresolved, just get out in front of it now. It'll clean things up for you, man. Van Damme movie was Kickboxer. I hate making food for my husband all the time, but I admit I get a lot out of it. Well, it sounds transactional there, vegan goddess, and you're making vegan food? So if you're the vegan, then maybe you got to make the food. Yeah, that movie was Kickboxer. I remember it. Wasn't abuse, but I guess unresolved trauma. And the thing about that, whatever that trauma is, it's going to come back. Something's going to happen. And this is why people are like, what's wrong with this person all of a sudden? Something sparked them. Pioneer Caddy, if you want to jump on right now, I'll do some tapping with you, and that'll help you out, calm down your anxiety a little bit. It's a resource and exercise that you will have to be a little bit vulnerable on what you talk about if you don't want to be public. But if you want something that helps you with anxiety or panic, this works. It's easy to do, and I can do it with you right now. And then down the road, if you want to book a session for an hour or 2 hours or something like that, I always tell people I'll give you your money back if it's not helpful or useful. I'm confident. Of course, vegan. I'm from Oregon. Doesn't everyone in Oregon drive Subarus? I remember Half Moon Bay, which is Northern California beach, and this woman was talking to us, and she wasn't like in my 20s. I think she was in her late 20s, and she's like, "Oh, I'm from Oregon." I said, "Do you have a Subaru?" She's like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" I feel like everyone over there has a Subaru. It's a popular car. She said, "Not really. I know I'm getting older when I say, like my elders used to say, this generation is way too soft." Well, Northern California has a lot of Subarus too. Maybe it's not Portland. People just drive whatever. Okay. Makes me tempted to look up number one car in Oregon. It would be different by city, though. Isn't it funny that you can just look that up now? It's like, let's check. It's like being a sports fan for a year now. It's ruined being a sports fan and having talks when someone goes in the bathroom after, like, oh, it's this, it's that. Oh, I knew I was right in there. You checked your phone, dude. They need Tong Po. You knew that one right away. I knew you were going to know that one. Van Damme was the man, man. He was cool. What about Steven Seagal movies from that era? Yeah, Under Siege. It's funny, I saw this clip on some YouTube video or YouTube short where Steven Seagal was younger, but he had like a receding hairline. I was like, damn, he must have had hair plugs. Marked for Death was a good one. Under Siege, he was good. Oh, really? Yeah, I haven't been to Portland in a long time. Oh, I don't know who Frank Dux was. I don't know who that was. Oddly, both Van Damme and Seagal have made plenty of movies over the past 20 years. All sort of low-level B-rated type movies. Yeah. Yeah, I think movies just kind of evolved from that time, but I'm a conservative vegan. Okay, cool. I've eaten at some good vegan restaurants. I thought I would never like something like that. It's good. Finding the one isn't my priority now, but finding a modest traditional girl my age is hard. So my advice to that would be, where are you hanging out? I wouldn't say dating apps are going to find that. I would say make a list of the, type of girl you're looking for, what she would like to do, and where you would meet one of those. So rather than just be like, oh, it's so hard, it's like, where would one of those frequent? If you're looking for a woman that is really into the gym and fitness, then join a fitness class. You have these HIIT classes and things like that. If you're looking for a woman that's a good cook, go to a cooking school. Like, think of it that way. Does that mean it always works? No, but at least it's not, oh, these dating apps suck. Oh, the bars and clubs suck. Those are places it's just a shot in the dark, right? I don't want a girl that drinks a lot. Don't go to a bar, right? I'm sort of a libertarian, semi-vegan sometimes. Sorta, coulda, shoulda, woulda, Rob. I don't like that people assume I'm a liberal because I'm a vegan. Well, I didn't. Frank Dux was what Kickboxer was about. I knew you were going to get into all the things. I don't remember it that well. I mean, that's 30 years ago that I watched that movie, probably. Dating apps like Christian Mingle might be a spot for that. Family values is definitely number one. They're out there. I would just say, like, be mindful of where you're looking. It's like I had a client, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't do drugs, big on the gym, and he'd go out to clubs all the time. He's like, that's where we go. I'm in college. It's like, join some study groups. I think eventually he's changed his major to accounting recently. And then he got into some groups that were like study groups for accounting. And then you just meet like-minded people. He's met a girl through that. Haven't heard from him. So the line of work I do, and no news is good news. Knowing how to cook is gold in relationships. You know what? I would say that probably for men or women, or both, cooking is one of those things you can't go wrong, right? As a great thing as a couple, right? Because everyone likes to eat, everyone likes a good cook around. So yeah, having that as something in your bag is important. Or I wouldn't consider myself the greatest cook, but I have a few things I cook very well that are my go-tos. Pioneer Caddies on deck.
How you doing?
Good.
Good.
So,
good.
Yeah, you don't need to put the camera on if you don't want to. Do you want the camera on, or are you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay, good. All right, let's get into it. So, go ahead. What happened with the bat situation?
It's better if you ask me questions. Ask me the questions.
Okay, so specifically, why'd she hit you with the bat?
So her excuse was she kept saying that I abandoned my children and abandoned my family, period.
Mm-hmm.
So but I had to walk away because I have other children that they was in a crisis situation that I had to go attend to.
So you moved out of the house?
Yep, I moved out of her house.
Okay. Do you feel like what she said is true?
No.
Okay. Because it was a more pressing need?
Yes, I had to be there for my other children, and the things that I was going through in her household was baggage.
So after she hit you with the bat, did you report that to the police, or?
Absolutely.
Okay. And so how did that get treated?
So they asked me if I wanted to get her arrested, but I'm like, no, because my kids is too little, and I have to.
Right.
I'm a worker, and I have 7 children. So it's like just the 2 by her. I know it's tough, but I had to provide for all of them.
So specifically, your biggest problem is the one that hit you with the bat. You have 3 children with, not 2, right?
I have 2 children with her.
Oh, okay.
And my son just turned 2, and my daughter just turned 1.
The ones that you have with her?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you, after that, and how long ago was that situation?
This was March, the end of March of this year.
Okay, so fairly recent. So what's transpired since then?
A bunch of text messages, the long text messages saying that I abandoned, and it's just all over the place. It's bipolar stuff going on. I just try to ignore it because it's a lot to take on.
What would be ideal for you from your standpoint right now?
So when I got hit with the bat, it actually changed me because I felt myself getting ready to tap out, but I caught myself, and like since then, God has guided me through everything. So I just let God handle everything. I don't try to worry or nothing.
When you say tap out, you mean like literally?
I got hit in my head as well, so I felt myself getting ready to fall out, but I picked myself back up because you have that split second to catch yourself. Should I fall or should I just shake it off?
So when you say you're putting it in God's hands, specifically what that so right now you're supporting them with money?
Yes.
Okay. So you're doing that part, so that's not full abandonment because you're providing some money. Do you have any?
She feels though there's not enough.
Okay, so is there a legal process that's deciding that, or are you guys not going to do
That's the
that?
legal process deciding that.
So the legal process has already decided what you're paying currently, so you're above board.
Yes.
Okay, well then that's the only thing you can do. Are you able to see the kids?
So she's, I don't want to say using them as a crutch or a pawn, but that's exactly what it is.
And
I just don't
so
like saying
elaborate
that
on that,
because
specifically as a crutch or pawn for money or for what? To get you
so
back? Or?
she wants me back, but she using them to will me back in. She keep making it about me and her, but she keep adding them to the conversation.
Do you have any interest in getting back with her?
Before she hit me with the bat, yes, I did. Now it's just trust. It ain't no trust.
Okay, so what your current situation? Are you with a new woman?
No.
Okay, so you're single.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So tell me about when you get the panic attacks or the anxiety. Is it a specific thing that's triggering it, or a specific?
So just when I think about them, like the stuff that she say over the text messages, it's like it gives me panic attacks because if you're going to be acting this way, then it's like I'm just worried about my kids right now. She also have other kids as well, so it's like she probably need her kids at this point to keep her calm. But then again, I don't know.
So part of you ultimately, because they're only 1 and 2 years old, so part of you ultimately would like to get custody?
Yeah, custody is almost in effect. It's in the making.
So beyond her hitting you with the bat, if this didn't happen, do you still think she's emotionally unstable as a person?
I'm not a doctor to diagnose that. So.
Yeah, no, emotionally unstable is not like you said. I'm not saying narcissism. I'm not using a term. Emotionally unstable just means like she goes 0 to 100 and she can't calm the fuck down.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah,
It's like I'm not
yeah.
trying to diagnose either, dude.
Yeah,
like
she's definitely bipolar out of that.
You know what I'm saying? And even if it's whatever it is, it's just when you're like, damn, calm down. Or
exactly. I'm to the point where I just stay silent because I'm more, I don't want to trigger her. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to trigger her.
Absolutely.
I don't,
So, all right, because I did tell you if we got on the phone call, I would show you how to tap just to help you have like one resource when you get this panic attack or anxiety, because this does help. So it's a small thing that it actually works. Is it going to cure all your problems? No. But it'll take you, when you get to a panic level or an anxiety of 10, you could bring it down to like a 4, 3, 2, 1, so you can get a little more rational. It's like turning the volume down. So the way you do this is, and it's all right that your video's not on, you can just follow me. But the first and foremost thing is, when we get anxiety or even when you get a panic attack, what happens is your thoughts are not congruent. So which a lot of times, like I'm on YouTube right now, but whenever you have relationship advice, you can get 20 different ideas and now you're incongruent. Oh, this works, this doesn't work. Oh, she's a narcissist. Oh, she's that. You're all over the place. So it's hard now because you get a lot of information, but it's also hard when you're like, this is the mother of my children. I do care about her, but also she's crazy. I'm not saying that, but you got my example, right? Like, so your mind does this ping pong game of like, what's true, and you can't calm down.
Yeah, I just don't want to see her in jail because we have kids and she have other kids.
So that's one of your big worries.
Yeah, that's my big worry. I care. I still care for her. I love her.
That's good.
But I can't. You know what I'm saying? It's just trust involved. So it's like, I wish she would never did it. I tell her all the time. So.
All right. So what's the when you get the panic or the anxiety? What's the emotion? Anger, sadness, hurt, fear?
I think it's probably fear.
Okay. So like right now, as we're talking about that, I know it's not at a full level, but on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your fear?
See, it's my daughter that I'm really like. I'm worried about all my kids, but it's like mostly my daughter because she's so little and she had health problems on, being born. And
Okay.
I know how it is when you go through, anger and then want to, you know, you totally forget that you're doing things to the kids. You understand what I'm saying?
So the fear is that she's going to hurt your daughter or
I'm
neglect her.
I'm not sure about the right word that
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So the
yeah,
fear
I'm
is
real careful with my words. So
about your daughter.
right,
Okay. All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong is that fear?
probably
Whatever
6.
comes. Yeah, and it can be higher at sometimes and it can be lower, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
right now it's a 6. Okay.
Mhm.
That's fine. So we'll start there. So all you want to do with this is, and like I said, you can use this on your own, and it just, like I said, it just helps calm you down. So you come up with an even though statement. So the even though statement is like this: even though I have a fear about my daughter's health, I'm okay.
Mm.
I'm doing the best I can. I know that I love her and I'll do whatever it takes to help her out. Does that statement even out for you?
So I say that with God involved.
Sure, no problem. So what
Yeah.
I was going to say is you can add something, or so when I say that, I'm not saying that's the right thing to say. You correct me because it's going to be your words. We're going to bring that back to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to say I'm okay. I know things are. I know God is working with me. Is that what
Mm-hmm.
you'd want to say? Or
Guidance, God's guidance. Yes. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I know I have God's guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the other thing is, and you could, like I said, you don't need to be on video to do this, but you could just follow me. These are the tapping points, and this will help you, I promise. So don't think that you're like, what is this? These are meridian points. It's same thing they do for acupuncture. So when you tap on these points, what it'll do while we're going through this, and I'll lead you through this, it'll calm down your system as you're processing this information. And then that even though statement is just making you congruent. Even though I have this fear about my daughter, I'm okay, which is true because we want to make that statement true. I know that God is guiding me. I know I'm doing the best I can, and I know that's enough right now. Does that roll with you?
Yes.
Okay. So
Gotcha.
the other spot's going to be right here. I'm going to do this with you. I'm just going to show you them first. So
Yeah.
the top of the head, and then tap on the side right here where your eyebrow is, right on the side. And this stuff, like, you'll see people do this in the airport that are scared of flights and stuff. It just calms you down.
Is that like taking your mind off of things?
It's like grounding you.
Mm-hmm.
So what it does is that as we do it, you'll feel it right away. You'll feel like that's why you do that 1 to 10 thing. So if you were like an 8, after one round of it, you'll go to like a 4 or a 3. You just want to turn the volume down. We're not trying to get rid of this. That's too difficult. This is a problem that's a legit problem. What we want to do is calm down your anxiety so you can deal with it better. Calm down your heart, calm down your emotion a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what it does. So the eyebrow right here, and then inside of the eyebrow, and then underneath your eye at the bone, and this one will just calm you down sometimes. Underneath your nose at the dimple, underneath your lower lip, and then it's just going to be where collarbones meet. That one's a good one too. Mm-hmm. And then it's like 6 inches underneath your armpit.
Okay.
You're going to follow through with this because I can't see your video. You're going to do this with me because it's going to help you. All right, bro.
Yeah, I'm actually doing it too.
Okay, I was a teacher for years, so I know when,
Yeah.
Don't make me do this when I'm.
No, I'm
I usually can see the people. I'm taking the time with you, so I just want to make sure you're not like, yeah. All right, because this is gonna help. I'm sincere that it helps. This is not just like some bullshit thing. So, you could just repeat after me, and we'll start there. Even though I have fear about my daughter.
Even though I fear about my daughter.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I know God's guiding me.
No, God's guiding me.
I know I'm doing the best I can right now.
I know I'm doing the best I could right now.
I know I love her.
I know I love her.
And she loves me.
She loves me.
And that's enough.
And that's enough. That's
Top
all
of the
that
head.
matters. Yeah.
I worry about her.
I worry about her.
I'm scared sometimes for her.
Scared sometimes for her.
I have fear sometimes.
I fear sometimes.
Next one right here. I worry about my daughter.
I worry about my daughter.
I have some fear sometimes.
I have some fear sometimes.
Inside of the eye. I'm scared what's going to happen next.
Scared what's going to happen next.
Underneath your eye at the bone. Now just go ahead and say whatever comes to mind for you about this.
I love my curries.
Okay.
My last name Curry, you know. All my kids name Curry. I got 7 kids. Got 5 boys, 2 girls.
I love my curries. I love my kids.
Yeah.
Good.
Appreciate you.
Good. All right. Underneath your nose. Right here. I love my kids.
Love my kids.
I'll do my best for them.
Do my best for them.
Always.
Always.
I know God's guiding me.
No God's guided me.
I have fear sometimes.
I fear sometimes.
That's okay.
It's okay.
I can face it.
Feed.
Underneath your lip. I'm scared for my daughter sometimes.
Scared for my
I know God's guiding me.
I know God's guided me.
I'm scared sometimes.
I'm scared sometimes.
I'm scared of my ex sometimes.
Yeah, right. I'm scared of my ex sometimes.
It's okay. Whatever comes up, comes up.
Yeah.
Underneath here, just like underneath your armpit here. Yeah. You could just use your whole hand. There you go. Just pat that. Letting go. Good. All right, come back to the original one. Even though I worry about my daughter.
Even though I worry about my daughter.
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm doing the best I can.
Doing the best I could.
I know God is guiding me.
I know God is guiding me.
And I'm listening to God.
I'm listening to God.
I haven't always been perfect.
I haven't always been perfect.
But I've learned.
But I've learned.
I've learned from my mistakes.
I've learned from all my mistakes.
I love my kids.
I love my children.
I'm going to do my best for them moving forward.
I'm going to do my full best for them moving forward.
That's it. And that's enough.
That's enough. Appreciate you.
Does that feel a little better?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Good.
Absolutely. Man. Appreciate you.
You're welcome, Pioneer Caddy. Anytime you want to bring that down, you can use that tapping. And if you want to email me sometime or you want to book a session, you let me know. And we can talk about it a little deeper.
Yes, sir.
But you got a big responsibility. You got 7 kids, man.
Yeah.
You're a sire.
I just work for a living. See, we talked a long time ago, and I was just going through the divorce separation. And I went away for a year. I went away for a year and healed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, just coming on this channel right now and doing some tapping means that you're looking for solutions. So give yourself credit for that.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You know what I mean? You're trying. You're. It's like trying something like this. Some people are like, "Oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, it doesn't work." It helps.
I know.
What you're doing is. Yeah, you're letting your system know, like, it's okay. I can deal with this. The tapping just calms down your system while you're taking in that fear. And the reason why I reiterated, I have fear, because what you want to do is you want to be okay with that. It's a human thing. Right? You don't want to fight it. What you resist persists. It's always like that. So good to talk to you. Good to catch up. And like I said, if you need to talk or you want to book a session, go ahead and do that. And then this is called emotional freedom technique at EFT. But you got the pattern to it, and then the tapping is that's what you do through it. And then that even though statement, you just want to even out, like, I'm doing the best I can. And you can come back. A lot of my clients will come back and they'll be like, sometimes I just tell myself I'm okay.
Right.
It's really clean. It's really neutral, rather than, oh, you need like real heavy stuff, or I'm doing the best I can right now.
Mm-hmm.
Come back to that. I'm doing the best for my kids. I'm gonna put them first. You're working. You're doing what you can right now. It's enough. It's enough.
Absolutely.
Right? All right. Thanks for coming on, bud.
Appreciate
And
you.
I appreciate you also. Take
All
care,
right.
okay?
You too.
And I wish you all the best.
Yep. Thank you.
All right.
I stay in touch.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. Bye-bye. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's called EFT, emotional freedom technique. There's different versions of it. It's tapping, and it's good. It's one of those things that actually works. It's not difficult to do, and it's one of those things that I use it myself. So what you want to do is, like, whenever you have these problems, is that realize that you have some resources. All right, my anxiety or my panic's really high. What can I do? You can go for a run. You can do some tapping. The thing about the tapping is it reorients the message in your head from being like a ping pong game and being panic and not having an answer to, like, all right, even though I have this fear, even though I'm really upset and I feel powerless, actually I'm okay. Actually, I'm doing the best I can. And you just need to find that way that you even out that statement to make it level. And then what the tapping does is it just calms down your system. It's also bilateral stimulation. And so as you calm down your system, you're telling yourself, I do have this fear, but at the same time, I'm calm. So that changes the dynamic from being a 10 on anxiety to being a 3 or a 2, right? CFN, that's very kind of you. We'll pray for you, Pioneer. Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming on. I do remember you too. I've seen you on the live stream before, and all the best, man. We all have our stuff. We all go through our stuff. Doing this now for 6 years, being a teacher for many years. This is human. It's human. I could feel that emotion go through you actually at the end. I could feel it on my back. All right, that was pretty deep. The power I am is life-changing, especially if your consciousness of what comes after those words. I am is powerful. I'm okay is a big statement. I like I'm okay because I think it can fit with everyone. It's very neutral. It's not the only statement, but when you're really going through something, to come back with that, I'm okay. I'm doing the best I can. I'm going to get through this. Yeah. We get tested, man. You get tested for reasons, and you're 36. So these are the things that you have choices. You can do things, and you can lead with, good intentions. It's a big one. And like I said, whenever I deal with someone with coaching, it's like I always joke around. I go, hey, man, you're looking for solutions. You're on YouTube. You're talking to one of these coaches, because there's so many different ones on YouTube selling you all these goofy things, and you can do this, you can do that. And you're looking for answers. You're looking for solutions rather than, oh, there's nothing I can do. Oh, life will never get better. It's like, let me try this. Hey, you think this tapping my head and saying this type of thing might help? Yeah, I do. Do you want to try it? Good. God's true name is Jehovah, which translates to I am. Okay, I didn't know that. Respect. The nice thing about that too, Pioneer Caddy, what you're going through now, and you're in the middle of it, there's going to be a time when you get older and maybe things are better, things are smoother, your kids are grown, you're doing well, and someone will come to you and ask you for some help. And maybe you're like, hey, I got this tapping thing, or hey, this actually helped me. And then it's a domino effect. Because you've gone through what you've gone through, you have compassion. I've gone through a lot in my life, not more than anyone else. That's the thing that people get wrong. But having some resources where you're like, oh, this works. Oh, this helps. Nothing's going to erase our problems. But we can work through them a little bit better when we know, like, okay, there's some things I can do, rather than, unfortunately right now, and I'm on YouTube social media sometimes makes it worse because it just puts you in a lot of directions. And that's the other thing. Once you find someone you trust that you want to work with, use them. All right, it's been an hour and 30 minutes. I'm glad we got to connect today, Pioneer Caddy. Like I said, I do remember you, and I appreciate you. Appreciate you coming on, and I wish you all the best, and I wish your daughter the best, and your other Currys the best. Beach Art Detailing, Mr. Ryan, thanks for coming on. I appreciate your contribution. Didn't really have a plan today. It's just been a while since the live stream, but the next few days I think I'm going to get on deck because it's Christmas, it's the holidays, and a lot of people are going through a lot of stuff right now, and if I can help, I'd be happy to do that. Yeah, it could be just as not have a Christian to be Christian, but at least a better matter. Okay. All right, folks, it's been good. It's been grand. CFN, I don't remember if you've been on before, but I appreciate you. Thanks for the donation. Beach Art Detailing says, I am growing and learning as a mantra. Thanks, Pioneer Caddy. Thanks for the $9.99. I appreciate that. I'll go get me some lunch. That works for me, my friend. I appreciate you too. Listen, man, your progress is my progress, and my progress is your progress. That's how I look at life, like helping each other out. That's the secret to life, man. Being there for people, and just understanding that things are going to get better, and keep showing up, man. Keep showing up. Keep showing up. It's important. It's really important. So Rob IS, who is the first one on deck, I'll be back on tomorrow. CFN over in the Great Norway, which is home of salmon and cold. You want to make your way out to the States, have a good time. Rick C was on deck. Vegan Goddess, I apologize for labeling people in Oregon Subaru owners. Appreciate your vegan cooking here. And yeah, I think that's who we got on there. It's nice to see some new faces here. Good luck, Pioneer, says Goddess. Hope to see you soon in a live 7 a.m. right now. All the best. Positive vibes only. Back at you, bud. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. It's curtains. Thanks, Ryan.